Hi there again, everybody, and welcome to this very special edition of All Things Auction, the podcast. We've got Chris back this week, which is good to see. And of course, you've got me back as well, because we had the fantastic Larry and Colin filling in last week for us while Chris was away, enjoying himself in France and in the south of England. And I was just a busy guy, to be fair. How was the break?
Brilliant.
What did you get up to? Out good?
Yeah.
Strip joints?
Not this time.
Oh.
Nah.
And they've not got any of them in Cornwall?
Or France. No, we had a good trip. Although we went down to Bournemouth to start with before we went across on the ferry to France, and I ain't going back there.
Bournemouth?
No, not going back there. Not talk about that much, but the south coast of England was not too hot.
Really?
But France was brilliant again.
Yeah, you enjoy it over there.
Yeah, except for the now put in, I think between Cherbourg, where we get off, and the little cottage, which is, it's a long way to it from that crossing. It's not as normal one, but I reckon there must have been 50 to 60 speed cameras in a 150 mile zone. They're absolutely red hot with speed cameras.
So, just out of interest, then, just quickly before we get onto the auction stuff, how does that work then? So, if you get a speeding fine in a different country, how do they?
I don't know.
How do they get you?
I didn't notice any flash at me. I was going too fast. I don't know. I mean, I've read things on the old Google News that they don't send it over here. They used to do.
If any of you watch that, you got an answer to that. Save us Googling it. What do you think? Have you been in that situation before where you've had a speeding fine in a different country? Did you get the fine? I don't know. I've never really. I have often thought about it. Well, how do you?
I think if you're caught there with their old coppers like we have, I think they'll stop you and give you a ticket.
Yeah.
But as for those automatic cameras, I've never received one through the post, but that's just done it now, hasn't it? It's like,
well, that's it. Yeah, you're going to get 6.
Yeah.
Land on you. I got a speeding, not a speeding fine. I got a bridge fine the other week. Me and Lacey was coming back from Hull one night, not so long ago, and I'm coming up to the Umber Bridge, and there's one lane open for pay with your card.
Yeah.
And it was so backed up, I went, so I go straight through the track and go straight through, and then you just pay it the next day.
Right.
Except I forgot. So £1.50 became £16.50. You should get a £15 fine. So there you go. These things happen. I just paid it. My own fault. Should have paid it. And to the point I've actually looked now into getting tag systems put into the vehicles, which we're going to do, and just keep them topped up.
So yeah, they've hammered us in France. Just, I don't know how the locals are putting up with it. It's just camera after camera.
It's not good, is it?
And then when we got back into Plymouth, coming back, different crossing, arrived back in Plymouth, you are watched from the second you get off the ferry to most of the way into Cornwall, down towards Truro. There is basically a camera on a pole, like every 200 metres. You're like monitored all the way.
It's terrible, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Let's face it, it's got nothing to do with speed reduction. It's just got to do with getting more revenue in.
Yeah, and this brand new poles put. There's no cameras on them yet, but you can tell they're coming. It's a system that they're going to increase.
Yeah. Well, you missed an auction last week as well. You missed two, really, didn't you?
Yeah.
Missed 2 auctions, and there was okay. The room was busy. This week's auction was quite a good auction, to be fair. There were plenty of people in there. We were severely short-staffed this week, which was a bit of a pain. But we got through it, got it done. Job got done. Numbers were good. Sold the motorbike and so on. So there you go.
Nobody likes missing an auction, do they?
No. It's not good.
What have I missed?
Yeah, you do get that. You as a dealer, you get a bit of FOMO, don't you?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more than FOMO. It's fear of missing out on money.
Yeah.
FOMO.
You do
FOMO,
Your best bet's not to look at the pictures, and at least you don't know.
Yeah, and you don't think so much about it.
Yeah.
Well, of course, one of the things the main thing that we're going to be talking about this week is the fact that this week Prestige Auctions turned 8 years old. 8 years old, Chris. Can you believe it? And
I remember.
My God, I mean, I'm proud of what we've achieved here. I say it week in, week out. We do this stuff on YouTube. We've got a massive social media following. And because, we're proud of the business that we run, we try and do the right thing by everybody. And anyway, listen, guys, before we go any further, I'm going to show you some pictures now of from when the auction first started, right through some of the fantastic things that we did. So just take a minute to have a look at this.
How can you see into my eyes like open doors, leading you down into my core, where I become so numb without a soul, my spirit sleeping somewhere cold until you find it there and lead it back home. Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside. Call my name and save me from the dark. Bid my blood to run before I come undone. Save me from the nothing I've become. Now that I know what I'm without, you can just leave me. Breathe into me, make me real. Bring me tonight. Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside. Call my name and save me from the dark. Bid my blood to run before I come undone. Save me from the nothing I've frozen inside without your touch, without your love, darling. Only you are the life of mine.
All this time, I can't believe I couldn't see. Kept in the dark, but you were there in front of me.
I've been sleeping 1,000 years, it seems. Got to open my eyes to everything.
Without thought, without a voice, without a soul. So when we die here, it must be something more.
Bring me to
Wake me up,
wake me up inside.
can't wake up.
Wake me up inside.
Save me.
Call my name and save me from the dark.
Wake me up,
Bid my blood to run
can't wake up.
before I come undone.
Save me.
Save me from the nothing I've become.
I've been living a lie. There's nothing inside.
Them pictures there of the auction from week one.
The other way around.
The auction room's completely the other way.
Yeah.
With all that pink stuff on the table, all that pink crockery.
Yeah.
We had the boards running down the back of the room where we'd put screws in them to pin pictures up and stuff. And you do kind of look at it and think, God, I won't go to that auction.
There was the gap between the rostrum and the office, where there was sometimes there's a roller door, or there's
Yeah.
like a pallet truck coming backwards and forwards, weren't they? All them distractions.
I just when you look back at the pictures and you do think sort of, you know, how we've sort of evolved and made it better and made it bigger, and it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over the years. And you know, we sort of started off with sort of 550 odd lots, and I don't think we ever dropped below that, not once.
No.
And then I remember when the very first auction that we did with 1,000 lots, and we was like, oh God, this is a bit much.
This is a massive auction.
You know, now we've done ones at over 1,500 lots,
Yeah.
and of course,
See, we get 1,000 lots now when we're going, easy day.
we are, yeah,
Hey.
that is what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we did 1,000 lots on the Armed Forces weekend and was done for half two.
Yeah.
Half two.
I mean, even on 500 lots, between 500 and 600 lots, you used to stop about dinner time.
Yeah. It's just different.
Have a break, remember?
One of the other things we look back at as well for Prestige was that when we first opened, we actually did our viewing from 12 o'clock Friday dinner till 7 o'clock Friday night.
Mm.
And but we soon realised that didn't work. I mean, I think this is the thing when you evolve as a business, you sort of treading water to start off with and sort of looking at way things might work, don't work, and you change them accordingly.
Well,
you know,
to be honest, we listen to people, don't we?
yeah, and we realised that, you know, it wasn't just all about our rules; it was about understanding what customers wanted.
They'll tell you what they want.
And we soon realised that 12 till 7 just wasn't enough. It wasn't getting enough people through the door. People were disappointed because they couldn't get to viewing. So that's when we decided to start opening at 8 in the morning until 7 at night. And then, but you look at, you know, some of those other pictures. Anyway, I've got some stats for you, so before we talk about some more of the pictures. And this, you may have seen this already on social media this week, because as you know, we filmed this on a Monday, and our birthday is actually tomorrow on the Tuesday. 8 years old tomorrow.
I haven't seen them because I've been away.
No, of course, yeah.
I didn't get back till late last night. So I've
Well,
not seen
this is roughly where we are, and these are approximate to within a few. But so in the 8 years that we've been open, 424 auctions.
it. Feels more.
It does feel more. 424 auctions, including specialist sales and all the rest of it. This is the biggie to me. 500,000 lots. 500,000 lots. That's a lot of lots when you look at it like that. 1,300 properties cleared.
That seems massive, doesn't it?
That, I mean, you know, because you come out on clearances occasionally, and
No, that seems a massive figure, that.
a property, you know. But then you think about it now, we're doing 4 and 5 a week.
Yeah.
It soon gets up there.
Yeah, I mean, clearing a house is a big job, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're clearing it and we've sold stuff under the hammer in Prestige auctions between £2 and £86,000 for one lot. So £2 and 86,000. I don't know of another auction room that has done that sort of money around here under the hammer. We also got challenged along the way. So over this 8 years, we've been challenged with so many things, and one of the challenges that was put up against was I wanted to sell alcohol.
Yeah.
I was clearing properties, and I wanted to sell alcohol, and was basically being told we couldn't sell it, and I actually threatened people with legal action if I didn't get a license, because there was no reason for us to turn us down. Anyway, so that happened, and ultimately we got given a license, and we sold alcohol for the first time, and it was really popular. So now we do maybe 3 or 4 alcohol sales a year.
Yeah, I mean, with 1,300 houses cleared, there's always cupboards, isn't there? With
Of course there is.
In.
As
It's
long
gonna
as they're
mount
sealed
up.
bottles. We've all got sealed bottles of alcohol, and you probably haven't, to
No.
be fair.
No, I really haven't.
But I have, and ultimately, you know, we thought we need to tap into this and sell them. And the other thing was as well, when we sold the first house, which we've got another one coming up soon, but we sold the first house, and people was like, oh, well, you can't sell houses. There's other people that do that. Well, so why can't we? When we looked into it, it was actually easier than we thought. So we did that. You know, sold that house at £86,000, and ultimately, every time somebody has said to us, "You can't," then we've turned
You
around
find
and
a
said,
you find a way.
let's try and find a way. So what else was there in them stats as well? When we first started Prestige Auctions, 3 people.
Yeah,
3 people.
yeah,
There's now 12.
yeah.
12 members of staff, here at Prestige, and some have only worked one day, granted, but there's quite a few full timers now as well, and that's testament as well. Because the thing is as well, what people say, yeah, we may only be a small business, we may only employ 12 people, but that's 12 lots of wages that are being generated, being paid to members of staff that are then spending it in the local community, which supports other things.
Yeah, it keeps it in the area.
Yeah, of course it does. And I'd say anybody that's running a business, then congratulations, because it's not easy. Oh yeah, and one of the other pictures you see on there, of course, was with the big gazebo, was North Thoresby, when we sponsored the 1940s weekend. That's happened in this 8 years. We sponsored the 40s weekend. Did you go to that?
Briefly, yeah. I didn't stay long, but I did go to it.
Yeah.
In fact, Jenny went to it. She stayed for the whole of the auction, I think.
Yeah,
She
it was.
bought a few bits from there.
Got to say, the auction wasn't great. It was okay. There was a few bits there, but
It's not what you'd expect to find at a 1940s weekend,
no,
really. So it was a bit different,
It
wasn't
was
it?
promotional to
Yeah.
us. That was it. We'd sponsored the weekend, and we was the main sponsors of the 40s weekend, and then of course it made sense to sort of showcase what we do to people,
Yeah.
and that was that. And then of course then of course there was Roland's Upholstery, and now you've just told me. I mean, I honestly can't remember the sale that much, other than we sold lots of chairs and tables and things. You're telling me you bought a few bits from Roland's, didn't you?
It was the fabric on roll.
There was a lot of it, wasn't there?
Yeah. I did well out of that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Did they have some good stuff?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was something, again, that I'd never, ever knew what the value was. So you bought a load and then discovered it later on whether it was worth it. Which is what we do, isn't it?
And then just carried on using the rest of it to decorate your stalls.
Yeah. There's tons of it all over, like Harrison's ends. Well,
The other thing, of course, we did, another big sale, was at the Coast Salt Yard in Grimsby. Now, you don't remember this one, do
I
you?
don't remember that.
And we cleared basically what was a gardening place. They did all garden gazebos and fake grass and all sorts of stuff, and we sold pretty much everything in there.
On-site auction.
Yeah, on site, and people come and picked it up from there. It wasn't an amazing sale. Some stuff did really well, some stuff didn't do that well, but the thing is, most of the stuff was built up. It was ex-display, and but again, it was another one under our belts that we did, and it'd be interesting because some people would be sat watching this going, "Oh yeah, I remember that auction," And
Do you prefer the on-site ones?
I don't mind the on-site ones. I won't say I prefer them, because when you do as a small auction business like us, when you do an on-site auction, it's a lot of additional work. I
suppose there's a lot of things out of your control, isn't there? So.
Yeah. Now and of course let's move on to Pleasure Island. And of course, when we got the call for Pleasure Island, which was early in the days, it was the very first few months of trading, and we managed to secure the deal to do the Pleasure Island auction. Then I won't lie to you, I've said this many times in the past. I walked through the door the day we got the contract, or the contract was agreed, and Lisa said, "How did you get on?" And I said, "Yeah, all right, we got it." And she went, "Well, how the hell are we going to pull this one off?"
What
and
do
I
we do
actually
now?
stood there and went, "I ain't got a clue,
Yeah,
but we will,"
yeah, we'll find a way.
and we did. And the Pleasure Island auction, and of course, as an auctioneer, you've got to sit back, and as a small business locally as well, when you sit back and look what this small business achieved with Pleasure Island, it was something special. It was a humongous amount of work. I mean, it's a 52-acre site. And
It was a big turning point, wasn't it?
oh God, it was. I can't say I didn't love every set. I mean, did you actually go to the auctions?
First day, I think. But I didn't buy anything.
Day 2 was the media day. We had the BBC One show filming. We had Look North live at the back of the room. We had radio, so we had Yorkshire TV turned up to do some stuff. It was just And they was all asking you for media breaks and stuff. Or can you just stop it after a couple of hundred lots and talk to us? And and of course the thing with the carousel, which is all history now, but
It'll never go away, will it?
no, it was almost like all those things were meant to happen.
Yeah.
And but Pleasure Island was a hell of a milestone for this business, and it earned us some good money as well. And I think an injection of cash like that into a small business when it's just started helps build the foundations to what we are today.
The publicity from it as well was good.
Oh, it was massive. It sent our social media into overdrive, and which was good. And of course we got through that, and we sort of and I'll never forget what Lisa said, and not many people know this one, is that Lisa went, yeah, okay, I ain't got a problem with you doing Pleasure Island. She says, but it cannot affect the weekend sale. I went, you what? I went, so we're off to do Pleasure Island, and we did Pleasure Island on a Wednesday and a Thursday, and then we had viewing here on the Friday for the Saturday sale. We had to leave. It was Diane and other team members had to stay at Prestige and fill the room while we all was off doing Pleasure Island. And so we did Wednesday, Thursday Pleasure Island, Friday viewing, Saturday auction. With all the media attention around it as well, and was actually having to stop on while we was doing interviews. Was doing interviews at the auction room during viewing for different media outlets and that to talk about what happened. It was great fun. When you look back, would I do it all again? Yeah, absolutely. I would do it in a heartbeat. It was so much fun, and we learnt so much from it as auctioneers. And at the time was using an online bidding platform called Bid on This, which when you first looked at Bid on This, you thought it looked like a good idea, but actually you realised in the end why it wasn't. And the idea of Bid on This was that they was an online bidding partner that would literally, you'd sign up for it, and if you bought something, it took the money straight out your account and paid you as an auctioneer. So as an auctioneer, that feels quite good that you're getting paid straight away.
Straight, yeah.
But they would only get paid if the money was in the account, of course.
Yeah.
And I kind of get why. See, the thing is, the money got paid through to. It didn't come straight to us. It went to Bid on This, and from what I remember, I think it went to Bid on This, and then they paid you. But when I spoke to other auctioneers, and I said, why didn't you sign up for that? I said, well, think about it. He said, if Bid on This go bust, they've got all our money.
The item's gone.
The item's gone.
Yeah.
And so I could understand why people see it as a negative rather than a positive.
Would it have been an easier sale to have done if you were using the program you are now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have made it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Bid on This were a new start business as well, and don't get me wrong, the team at Bid on This were fantastic. There was Josh who was a really nice guy, and he's who ended up being his missus as well. She was there with us as well. And then I think the lady that was one of the owners was called Helen, and the team were great. I couldn't knock the team, but they stopped doing it. That was it. So it clearly wasn't working out. But
does that no longer exist now?
No. So we moved on to Easy Live Auction, and to be fair, I think it was Lawrence we dealt with at the Easy Live Auction initially, and to be fair, I've never looked back. The platform is amazing. It's really good. It's so advanced, and I can't understand why. I say why more auction rooms don't use it, and most of them do now. To be fair, if they're using Sale Room, they use Easy Live as well because it's got a lot of followers. And
is there some auction rooms that are using multiple?
Yeah, one of the things that's changed quite a bit is a lot of the auction rooms now, the bigger auction rooms, shall we say, that are charging the higher commissions, are not just using Easy Live and Sale Room, they're also having their own platform as well.
Yeah.
So you'll hear them say the name of their business platform, where they'll say £20 with Easy Live, or £30 with Sale Room, or they'll say £40 with, and then they'll say the name of their own platform.
Yeah.
So people have got various options to who they want to bid with.
That must take a bit looking after on the.
Yeah, because you could have a clerk for everyone.
Yeah.
But then on saying that, Chris, if you're an auction room that's you're doing, 150,000 pound a sale or more, then you can afford to pay that.
Yeah.
When you're not, then it gets
And not a lot
harder.
of lots if you cut your lots down.
So also we as a business during the 8 years that we've been here is that we did things. We always were very big on this. It's about our customers and promoting a friendly atmosphere. And we came up with some mad ideas in the past where we did decided to do a fishing trip. If you remember, now you see some of the pictures on there for the fishing trip, where we all went out at Grimsby dock and we had a great day out. It was such a laugh. I mean, it really was. I mean, talk about everyone just taking the mickey out of it. It was just so much fun. Everyone was catching fish. Everyone really, really enjoyed themselves. In fact, we need to do another one. You need to come on.
I was just thinking that. It's about time we did it.
It was such good fun. Everyone was out there. One or two people was having a beer on there, and the boat that we went out on. Really nice guy that run that, and he was providing us with teas and coffees and everything. It was just a crack. Luckily, it wasn't too rough. It was all catching. Of course, there's a few bets going on as well about biggest fish, and and it was just really good fun. But of course, we did that, so Lisa couldn't be left out. So Lisa did an afternoon tea. So the girls paid 5 or 10 quid each, whatever it is, and they did an afternoon tea round at our house, actually, in the garden. And believe me, that didn't cover cost. It cost us a few quid, that, but it was nice. It was something nice to do for the women as well. And I think that's some of the things that we've done there. Some people wouldn't. We did the treasure hunt as well. Yeah, we did the prestige treasure hunt, and of course, recently we've been looking at new things we can do, haven't we? I mean, you've even been involved with some of the things we've been looking at and thinking. What can we do to promote the community spirit that we've already got?
We were on about stars in your eyes, weren't we?
I'd still love to do
I know, that'd be quite funny.
I'd still love to do that. It's just the organising of everything. And this week I've even actually spoke to my son, Stephen, about something. We had Docks Fest this week, didn't we, at Meridian Point? I'd like to do a Prestige Fest.
At the Meridian.
Imagine.
They've got plenty of spare time to do it there. It's not full every week, is it?
And I'm not going to put out my ideas of how I would do it, but I think we could do something that would pack that place. But it means talking to promoters and all sorts of stuff. But and you do sort of think it's all right having the ideas, but it's putting them to fruition, because everything we do takes so much time. These podcasts take time.
It is. Finding the time to put some hours into that.
Yeah, and you would have to put some serious hours into it as well. But of course, let's not forget the boat auction. So the resident boat buyer, our Pete, and I think as we talk about Prestige coming 8 years old, Prestige auctions that is, of course, and when you look at people like Pete Dixon is an absolute legend. There's a picture of Pete, for those of you who don't know who Pete is. And Pete Dixon,
on TV.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend. He's been coming to Prestige auctions since day one. Now, Pete was somebody that I knew from an auction at Tetney, which we've spoken about in the past. And Pete, and as well as a lot of other people, was a bit of a loose end when that one shut, because it was a bit of a place where everyone went. And of course, Pete started coming down to Prestige, and he don't live that far away. And Pete still holds the record of having something in every one of our general sales.
How did he get to Tetney?
There used to be another chap that used to pick him up and take him out there.
I can't imagine the scooter getting there.
Yeah, and of course, Pete has become a bit of a legend. Everybody knows Pete, and he's one of a kind, isn't he? Let's be honest. He gets and he brings his stuff in, and he got the nickname, of course, of the resident boat buyer, because he just bought so many boats. And then when the thing happened with the council and the fire brigade, he had to get rid of his collection or get rid of some of it. He decided to get rid of all of it. Well, he's back buying boats again now.
There's going to be another one, isn't there?
He's like any typical addict, really, isn't he? You can get off it for a while, And you may stay dry for a while, but ultimately
Yeah.
it's always there creeping back at you, going, "Come on!" And I think it's hooked him again.
I like the way whenever a lock's come through and you look up, his hand's already there, isn't it?
It happened Saturday, mate.
Did it?
There's a boat come up, and I just look round, and there he is. I'm in the air. But Pete's unpredictable as well. So some people, I've watched 1 or 2 people try to outbid Pete in the past, and I've watched 1 or 2 people try to run him up as well. And I'd say that's always a very, very bad move with Pete, because Pete will drop his hand as quick as he puts it up if the mood takes him. And I've seen a few people land with egg on the face when they've been trying to just run him up. And
He knows.
He knows. He's
Yeah.
not daft.
It's come to enough auctions to figure it out.
He's just a nice guy. He's so friendly. And well, that's it. 8 years old, Prestige Auctions, and here's to the next 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, because I've loved every second so far of this job, and it is a job ultimately. I'm here to earn a living, but I'm here to earn a living and enjoy myself.
If you're not enjoying yourself at work, you've got to change your job, haven't you?
We have such a laugh though.
Yeah.
I mean, we've missed you the last 2 weeks. We're pretty much a week and a half when you've not been here, because every part of the team brings something a little bit different out there, and we've got a great team down here, and Prestige. Mark my words, everybody. Prestige is going to get bigger. There is no doubt about it. One way or another, this business is going to get bigger, and because we're passionate about it. It's not necessarily got to be about finance and money. It's got to be about the passion that drives you. If you lose that passion, stop doing it.
Well, nobody comes to work here and just goes through the motions, do they?
No.
No.
And everyone looks out for each other here. It's just such a, and that's both staff and customers as well.
Yeah.
Everyone is there for each other, and I'll never ever forget when of course we at the dark days of COVID,
Which was the biggest test.
at Prestige, and I had this brainwave of doing the live from the living rooms. And we used to, when the auction would have been going out on a Saturday morning, instead of putting the auction out, we put just all sat there talking about auctions and things. But then we started saying, is everyone okay? Is anyone struggling with anything? And of course, and people started opening up to you a bit. And we had customers helping customers. And when you looked at that, you thought, I was sat there on Facebook a lot of the time, as most people were on during them days of COVID. No one else was doing that. Who else was doing it? You had what got me is you had 1 or 2 people that were doing stuff literally just for self-praise.
Yeah.
We didn't promote any of this. We just kept it within a community and just looked after each other. And then you had other people that were doing stuff that and then getting themselves in the papers and getting awards and God knows what else. And you do think to yourself, well, you do think, why did you do it? Was it to help, or was it to help yourself?
Self-promotion.
Self-promotion and stuff. But
it was a difficult time, really difficult time, and I remember those chats in the morning. People would be joining in. We had 20, 30 people, more sometimes, just coming in, still taking the mickey out of each other, and at least keeping the humour going, which is what got you through it.
When you look as well at some of the customers, I mean, Bruce in London, I'll give a shout out to Bruce in London, because Bruce has got some relatives in Grimsby, but he started coming to the auctions, and he always says to me, and I sometimes speak to Bruce on the phone outside of work, outside of being here, and he'll say to me, I wish we had an auction like you down there, or it do so well, and we've got nothing like it, and we hear that from all over the country. We ain't got anything like this. Which makes you wonder, should we expand? Should we increase the project and make it bigger? But Lisa won't hear of that. And
here's a thought, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never say never.
And here's one big bit of news. Me and Lisa became Nana and Grandad again last Thursday night, and to our new baby granddaughter Sophia, and she's absolutely beautiful. and I never thought I'd have a granddaughter. And
Because it's boys, isn't it?
yeah, it's been so many boys for so long, but it's fantastic that news that, and so well done, Daniel and Ellie. You've done a cracking job there, and we can't wait to meet her. Of course, Lisa will get to meet her before me, but that is that. But also, I think just going off on a tangent a little bit, I think we need to, and I know you've not watched it yet, but we do need to sort of say a special well done to Larry and Colin for last week, because they'd sort of made comments about doing a podcast, and that was a bit tongue-in-cheek, really. And I thought, well, yeah, then, boys, here's your
So
opportunity.
you win.
Last Monday, I literally sat them in here, switched camera on, went, see ya, talk about what you like. And they had a good go. And really, so I made Larry Carl and Colin Chris,
Right.
yeah. And nothing changed. Larry did all the talking. And
But Larry can talk, can't he?
oh, Larry can talk, yeah.
Yeah.
But both
We're
of
doing
them
the Saturday.
said that they enjoyed it, and actually there's been one or two comments made to me that said people enjoyed it as well. And I think as we move forward into our 9th year, we are constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to do things different. Now we did the boot sale challenge podcast the other week. That has had the biggest amount of views ever for one of our podcasts. All right, you could say it wasn't really a podcast, but it was part of our podcast series. And we're up to like 400 odd quid now that we've raised for the music license, of 800 needed. Now, we've been saving more not sold, so there is going to be a part 2 coming up of the podcast of the music challenge, and we're hoping that we can get over the line, aren't we, with that one?
Yeah, what's that going to, another couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, I think. We should be able to get out there again. Certainly can't get there this Sunday, but the following Sunday, then maybe, if the weather's right, let's get ourselves to Morrison's again and do another boot sale. Let's get the money together for that, and then we'll be able to have some nice music on in the auction as well, without
I
fear
think
of being
another
fined.
boot sale will not be far off.
No, and I think if we just order another one of them 100 name cards, I think if we sort of boost it up with that bit of a raffle, we'll have enough money there.
Yeah, that did all right.
And
didn't
then we can and then people turned out for that to support us, didn't
Yeah.
they, as well?
it? Yeah.
But just going back to Larry and Colin, so no, they sat there and they spoke about all sorts of stuff. They spoke about the auction, but Colin had a little bit of a go at me,
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he couldn't understand how Carl, who is about a 4, managed to pull a hottie like Lisa, who was obviously a 9 or a 10. Now, I'm a little bit like an elephant. I don't forget things, right?
I did.
And
Upsetting the auctioneer is never a good thing.
no.
And
So
is he just going to come and bid on stuff when Lisa's there now?
well, he's a marked man. No,
Yeah.
he's a marked
He's going to
man.
be struggling this Saturday, isn't he?
Yeah, but Larry said he really loved it, and and Larry has been another one of the customers that has become a forever there.
Yeah.
There's one thing as sure as eggs is eggs, is that Larry will be at the auction unless he's on holiday. If he's on holiday, which I know he is away in a couple of weeks, he won't be at the auction, and you just know Larry's going to turn up. Usually with a box of cakes as well, which is even better for the office. But you know what?
See, Larry suits TV.
Do you think?
I do. I think he looks like a retired James Bond or something like that.
Retired James Bond. It's all that hair he's got, isn't it?
I know. I mean, I used to think he was like an Alice Cooper lookalike, but he's not. and then it turned out. See, the Elvis thing threw me. I would never have picked the Elvis thing.
No.
Not speaking to him. Never have picked that out. But I think my mum's got a soft spot for Larry as well.
Do you think Larry's getting a bit of a fan club?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you think we could maybe capitalise on this a
We
little
need to
bit?
exploit Larry.
Some Larry mugs and things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
light fingered Larry mugs.
I think I told you earlier. It's like that Alan. It's got that Alan Titchmarsh effect, like the housewife's choice.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So Larry.
Whole new career for him.
Larry and Colin, maybe another thing, and of course, so let's have a quick look. So now we're talking about podcasts and other things. We still want to do the filming of the podcast about my story. I'm looking forward to that immensely, and that's another thing that we've got to get into the diary somewhere. And of course, the way we're going to be doing things on YouTube as well, which leads me to a big announcement that Chris doesn't even know, is that as of next week, we are going to be setting up a second YouTube channel. Okay, so it's going to have a different name. It's not going to be anything to do with Prestige Auctions, but it's going to have a lot of content in from me and others, probably Chris, a lot, and we're going to call it something like After the Auction,
Right.
and basically it's going to be a no holds barred YouTube channel where we're not going to discuss auctions as such. We're going to be talking about all sorts of other things as well, things that are going on in the news, things that are going on.
Stuff that affects everyday life.
Yeah, stuff that affects everyday life. But also in it as well, we intend to do some challenges. And these challenges are going to be, is we're going to look at other YouTubers and we're going to try and take off what they do to see if we can replicate it. So there's going to be like, I mean, you've just got to think about things like Beard Meets Food, people going and being food critics, and all sorts of stuff. Beer challenges and goodness knows what else. And I think it would be a bit of a laugh.
What about some of the jackass stunts?
I don't know about that, unless we can get Dave involved. But I've been considering this for a while, and we considered that, because we always say, don't we, week on week, there's certain things we'd love to talk about, but don't really fit into the line of Prestige Auctions.
Pull up short, don't we?
And so we are thinking of doing something a little bit different for everybody. So by next week's podcast will have the name of the new YouTube channel. So if you can subscribe to it, we need to get up to that 1,000 subscribers on that one quite quickly, and we'll do some additional content for that. And it will just give me and Chris a little bit more freedom to do stuff away from Prestige Auctions. We'll still be doing, of course, the Prestige Auction stuff every week, but
there's that much stuff happening these days that does affect everything we do. We talk about anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's just you because you're running under the the guise of the business here. You've got to be very careful about what you're saying when it comes to the business, and but ultimately, so we're going to set up a completely new thing, new concept, and
are we going to get a bigger table so we can get some more of us round it? I think it always helps if there's.
Well, yeah, there's going to be there's going to be different things that we're going to be doing. I mean, one of the things that was really shown us is that when we did the boot sale challenge, all right, this is a prestige thing, granted, but the amount of extra views we've got on that because it's so different.
Do you know what I saw that got an awful lot of views and interest? Was Lisa singing.
Yeah, Lisa's singing. I mean, people like a bit of fun, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the pictures that you see earlier in the pictures that we'd shown is of where it says the trainee auctioneer, and the picture of Lisa. That's our biggest viewed TikTok, that at 220 odd thousand views. And it was daft as you like, but people warmed.
Is that the animal noises one?
No, it's not the animal noises one, which I thought could have gone viral. because it was just so mad and so crazy. But it's look, everything that we do down here, we do for a reason. We do it because we want to promote fun, we want to promote community, we want to promote everything. I mean, there's also another video that I want to do, which we will be doing it. There is no doubt about it. About North East Links Council in this area, because
the battles.
There's certain things that need saying, and seeing as the council don't ever want to listen or reply to anybody, then the only place you've got left to do it is on social media.
Yeah, put out your story if they want to come back.
In the hope that people might just listen to you. So there is that we need to do, but of course, as always, it's about time, and time is always the problem we've got. A Monday down here at Prestige Auctions, we try and squeeze this in on a Monday afternoon. I've still got the sneak peek to do, and then before you know it, it's 7 o'clock at night. And then tomorrow all day is lotting up. Wednesday, Thursday is supposed to be days off, but they never are.
No.
And then Friday, you're back interviewing an auction.
Yeah.
So
It's only 3 days then. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are just manic, aren't
yeah. So, but what I can say is this, is that everything that we've achieved and everything that we've done in the 8 years that Prestige has been open would not have been possible without you. You are the people that make this business tick. We just put it there for you. But you lot coming in, and whether you're a customer at Prestige, whether you're somebody that just watches in on YouTube and watches me and Chris chat crap for an hour, or whether you're somebody that gets involved with what we do, everything that everybody does is just as important.
Every interaction.
Yeah.
Got that.
I mean, there's nobody would be. I mean, it's my ambition. I mean, I've got some regrets already in the 8 years that instead of going all Facebook mad, I should have gone YouTube mad, because I think we could have had loads of subscribers now. You know, got 30 odd thousand. But I mean, my absolute dream would be to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and get that plaque for the wall. I mean, oh my God, what an amazing feeling that must be when you've got 100. Because contrary to popular belief, people go, oh, how many subs you got on YouTube? Oh, I've got nearly 3,000. Is that it? You try and get 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, it might be easy to
Just to watch it, but not
parade
subscribe
yourself
it.
around in your pants on TikTok or something and get yourself 7,000 or 8,000 followers. But they're not really real followers, are they? They're
Well,
just
shall we? We could try that next.
what? You walking around in some knickers?
Well, yeah, there's 12 of us here now.
Everyone walking around in some knickers.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give it a go. But you know what I'm saying there is that people sort of judge you these days on how many subscribers you've got and stuff. Well, ultimately, getting subscribers on YouTube is very, very difficult. And to get up to where we've got up to in the couple of years that we've been doing it, you know, we're at nearly 3,000 now. It'd be nice to get to 10. 10
Next stage.
10 would be a hell of a milestone for us. I'd be buzzing at 10,000. I mean, I'd be elated at 100,000, but 10,000 would be.
We still got those little things to do, though. Again, it's time, isn't it? But we were going to take off Flog It and Real Deal and stuff and things. That
Yeah.
We could have our own version of that.
We could. I mean, there's so much we can do and so much we want to do, but
Like
you
a
know,
valuation day.
yeah, I mean, I have said this once before and we didn't get any response on it. If anybody does know a good videographer, that we do need to talk to a videographer about this thing that we want to do with the story thing. Because even though it'd be me and Chris talking, we need a professional to film it and edit it and turn it into like a 4-part series. So if you know anyone that's a videographer and you know, we're not looking for charity here, you know, we know we've got to pay for it, but then come and talk to us and show us some of the work you've done, because it's something that and you know, and if that works out, there may be other stuff we can work on as well in the future. But I did say to everyone at the auction on Saturday that I'd got a subject I wanted to talk about and completely forgot about the birthday. So there was another subject that I want to talk about, and I think we should just put 10 minutes into it right now, because our subject of today is what I call false dealers. Now, everybody is going to relate to this. Everybody knows one of these people that comes up to it, and believe me, we see loads of them at the auction room, that come to the door and make out they've got no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And Lacey will say to me, oh, so-and-so has been in, yeah, oh, they've just lost a family member, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go, what? They're a dealer. I've seen them for years.
Yeah.
And we get so many of them. I mean, I don't understand why. And it's always older people, because the youngsters realise, you know, everyone's on the internet and that.
You can find it out.
But so many people that I've dealt with over the years, and we've seen so many of them come through the doors at Prestige, they'll bring stuff in and go, oh well, I don't really know anything about this. And I'm stood there thinking, what a lie. You absolutely know everything about it. You've been dealing in this stuff for years. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. If somebody comes up to me and says, oh, what do you know about this? I'll tell them what I know. And if I don't know much about it, I'll say I need to do some research on that. But they'll come up, or the ones that go to the boot sales and go, how much is it worth? I don't know. Well, you've spent 50 years in the industry. Why don't you know? You do know.
I do know a few of them. Yeah.
There's a few people sat at home now going, yeah, I know somebody like that.
Yeah.
And it's this old kiddom act of, well, or the other one, this is great, this. And I hear it so many times on clearances when they'll say, I've had so-and-so around to have a look at some stuff. And he asked me if I was prepared to sell them things there because he collects them. Yeah, I used to say that as well.
He collects them for money.
He collects them, yeah. Does he? Yeah. Oh, I'd love to have one like that in my collection. Oh, and do you know what? And people go, oh, we'll just take it. And they go, oh, are you sure? And then the next day, they've sold it.
Yeah.
For a massive profit. Because these false dealers are out there chatting crap to everyone going, I don't know. I'm only, I don't know anything about that. And I'm like, oh, come on, give me a break.
But we've also got the pretend dealers who like think they know what they're doing, but they don't.
Don't, because they're even worse, aren't they?
The ones that follow the bids.
I've had a telephone conversation with somebody today who will remain nameless. Now, when I do evaluation in here on a Friday, I'll say to people, this is what I think. This is what I think it'll make. So, do you want to put a reserve on it? Yeah, this person put a reserve on something. It made more than the reserve and they're still not happy.
All right.
Really not happy. And the only reason this happens is because people believe that the items they are bringing to you are worth more than they actually are.
Yeah, it's every week. It's every week.
I don't get people that come into an auction room. Remember, an auction room is a wholesaler for a retailer. So people are going to come here to try and buy stuff to try and sell to make money on. Usually an easy option. And don't get me wrong, the auction room can bring some magnificent results. It really can. When you get people locking horns on a lot, it can make a lot more than it's worth.
Yeah,
but it doesn't happen
fever,
all the time.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, but when people are selling piles of records and stuff like that, and I explained this on the Aftermath this week about we had two lots of records in. We had some from somebody and some from somebody else. Some weren't selling at £4, some were making 30 and 40 quid a box. Well, why? Why was it? Well, because the genres were different. A box of mixed, assorted country and western, orchestral and stuff like that is never going to be worth much. But you get a box of rock and roll and heavy metal and stuff like that, everyone wants it. And
those record dealers, they look through every record.
they know the stuff.
Yeah, they know what's in those
And it's
piles.
not that people don't look in them boxes, because they do.
Yeah.
Silver dealers, not so much. But
Different story, that one.
ultimately, when it comes to them records, you're just like, I mean, an auction room, as an auction business, we want to do the best we can for everybody all the time, for the buyer, for the seller, all the time. We want to get the stuff sold. That's our job. And then when people are unhappy because it didn't make enough money, well, the only person you've got to blame is yourself. Because you've already been sat and had a valuation. You've already been told what the potential is. You've also already been told that, you can't guarantee anything in auction. And although we'll do the best we can, you've got to think about what sort of reserve you'd want on it. So you can only advise. Now, if I advise a £50 reserve and then it sells at over £50 and you're not happy with it, then whose fault's that?
It gets to £40 and they've got to take it back home and they're still not happy.
And this I've got to say, this one quite got to me today. Nothing normally gets to me like this, but it got to me. So I thought, you've been given all the advice and then you're still not happy, which just tells me one thing: you overvalued it.
Yeah.
You overvalued it yourself. You think that your stuff is worth a lot more than what it actually is. Sadly, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it does sometimes. Sometimes, I mean, every man and his dog was telling me a certain item in the auction last week wasn't worth X amount, and it made double. and because.
There's a lot of expert opinions though every week.
But there's so many people as well. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not just the false dealers. It's the ones that come in that think they know a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just despair. But sometimes I found that even as an auctioneer, it's best to just say, okay, and walk away.
Yeah.
Because getting into the debate with them, that they believe they're right. And you don't want to get into. I don't want to get into a debate with customers. If that's their belief, then fair enough. Let them have their belief. But having a belief without listening to somebody that knows what they're talking about is going to cost you money in the end, because you're either going to pay too much for stuff or sell stuff too cheap and all the rest of it. So, I just think that. I think as an auction business as we are at Prestige, we want to try and help people.
There's a balance though, isn't there? It's like people want things at the right price, so they keep coming back and buying. But people also want things to sell at the right price, so they'll keep fetching things back to sell.
Yeah.
Not everything's from a house clearance.
No, but the bulk of it is, and I don't know why I let it get to me sometimes. But
It's just when you're trying so hard, and then you can't please everybody, can you?
No,
it just ain't going to happen.
But like you say, you hit the nail on the head there as well. When you're trying so hard, you're trying your hard to do the best you can for the seller. We promote everything. We do YouTube videos. We go over the top, way higher than a lot of auction rooms do. And then you just get somebody that's on the phone and just not happy, and you think, what more could I have done?
There's always somebody waiting to spoil your day.
Yeah, most days. Listen, everybody, I think this one's dragged on for long enough. So thank you ever so much for joining in our birthday celebrations. We hope that you enjoyed looking at the pictures. If it didn't stay on long enough, you can, of course, rewind it and press the pause button. And do us a favour, leave us a comment this week and let us know one of your lasting memories of Prestige Auctions over the 8 years that we've been open
People
already.
Been interacting with the stuff they bought. I get that every week. People come and tell me some of the amazing
It's great,
things they bought.
Yeah, and tell us that. What was the favourite thing you bought?
Yeah.
And even send us some pictures or whatever, because we do love to hear these stories, don't we? It is nice when people are telling you how they enjoy coming to the auction. And anyway, 8 years is a long time, but it's not as long as we're going to last. We've got a lot more to do yet. So anyway,
just got started.
What?
We've just got started.
We are. We're babies at the moment.
Yeah.
We're still at junior school. We're infants still, but we are going to come of age at some point soon. Anyway, thank you ever so much, everybody, for watching All Things Auction, the podcast. Say goodbye, Chris.
I've got to say au revoir.
Au revoir, Chris.
Oh yeah, I'm converted now though. I'm French.
You are French now, are
For
you?
a couple more weeks.
I will only believe you're French when you're burning a lorry tyre in the middle of a road. Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
We'll see you all very soon at the auction.